Alright, bro, let me stretch for this video. Talking about the GOAT debates, Jimmy High Roller. Let's get into it.
Get the fresh 14 for the Lakers.
Look out below! Hi, Kevin.
It's never gonna end, is it? LeBron's reign over the NBA. I've just come to the conclusion that LeBron has hacked into the Matrix and has transcended aging. LeBron is in his 19th NBA season and is somehow still one of the best players on the planet.
Yup.
This isn't supposed to happen. 99% of NBA players peak in their mid to late 20s and then slowly regress as they age, eventually becoming a liability to their team and inevitably sailing off into the sunset washed up and content with their achievements. But not LeBron.
Jesus Christ.
The man is fighting his age like he's got a grudge on time itself. And the more he piles up on these mind-bending feats, the more we must ask ourselves the question, and I really hate to do this, but is LeBron the greatest basketball player of all time?
Here we go!
What would he need to do to truly, once and for all, be the GOAT?
Yeah, that's the better question. What does he have to do to be the GOAT? For everybody to shut up.
Nothing.
Yeah, spoiler.
5 years ago, I uploaded my first basketball-related video onto this channel. The title of that video is LeBron the GOAT. You can still watch this video today, but since it's an absolute dog water of a production, I highly recommend you steer clear of it. To summarize the video, I gave 10 reasons why LeBron would retire as the GOAT.
This 5 years ago.
5 years and thousands of hours of watching games, collecting data, and gathering context in this sport that we love. I've since changed my ways and realized that Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. But my original assessment from 5 years ago hasn't completely changed, because I never said LeBron was the GOAT at the time. I just gave 10 reasons why LeBron would retire as the GOAT. But ever since I dropped that video, I've pretty much avoided the GOAT conversation altogether. I've put a spin on the idea of the greatest players in certain aspects of the game. I've talked about the greatest scorers, I've ranked players using purely numbers, but I've never really broken down who the greatest player is, in my opinion, because I just feel like the topic is a bit redundant.
Watch him say it's like Kareem or some shit. Truth is, it's neither of them. It's Kareem.
Whole time it's Wilt Chamberlain. so it's like I don't even understand why y'all argue this shit. Who's second? Whole time it's Wilt Chamberlain. Fuck out of here. Team Kareem. Yo, y'all thought I was ever. Fuck no. Team Kareem. Never forget.
At the moment, there are pretty much 3 different camps on the whole GOAT debate. People who think Michael Jordan is the GOAT, people who think LeBron is the GOAT, and people who are wrong.
I'd say
I'm
more
just
than
joking,
20%
of course.
people.
But not really. I'd say about 75% of people fall into the MJ's the GOAT category, about 20% of people fall into the LeBron's the GOAT category, and about 5% fall into the other category.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. That 20% is loud as fuck, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I'd say it's a good 30, actually, cause that's a loud ass 20 then. Look, man, we've been dunking on Russ fans, and we'll continue to dunk on Russ fans. Russ, I don't really care about, but your fans, fuck y'all. But the Bronsexuals, y'all still got it. y'all still got it within y'all when it matters most. When the pressure's at its highest, y'all got it.
Hey, y'all clutch, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Woo!
You guys got the clutch.
Yeah, y'all clutch. Y'all clutch as shit.
I could probably name like 30 popular YouTubers that think LeBron's the GOAT. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
But tough. Cash.
Yo. Why? I'm not in this, man. That's him. Fuck that. I'm copping it. Fuck it. L-man's me. I don't care. That was that motherfucker. I ain't say shit.
Usually these other fans believe the GOAT is Wilt or Kobe or Kareem. There's not many of them, but boy, will they die on that hill. See, the thing here is that a lot of the fans in MJ's corner believe that he is and will forever be the GOAT.
That's stupid.
If LeBron somehow won 4 more championships and retired with 8 rings, he'd undoubtedly be the GOAT, right?
The fact he has to say right is nuts. Casual fans, best friend. Oh, hey, that's for me.
All right, we gotta be realistic. There's no objective way to do this argument, like truly. You can have all the stats in the world and have all the numbers in front of you, but at the end of the day, it's how a person interprets those numbers that'll, make the conclusion. If you have the same statistics in front of like 5 people and they all interpret it in different ways, then they can have 5 different conclusions. At the end of the day, these are all opinions though. I just, the whole idea of trying to come up with the most objective way to do it, I mean, the effort is admirable, but I don't think there's ever truly a way to do it.
that's why I think rankings get corny at some point as well. They're fun to talk about every now and then, of course. Post-finals, post-amazing accomplishment. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, fuck it. Let's talk about who better. But going crazy night by night, trying to convince another person how they should perceive basketball is literal insanity.
First, let's just take a look at the basic numbers. Between Michael and LeBron has
Checklist
more
time.
career points, rebounds, assists, blocks, more triple doubles, higher field goal percentage, and a higher three-point percentage. And Michael has more steals and a higher free throw percentage. But this whole argument, the career totals argument, is only useful in demonstrating LeBron's longevity and sustained excellence. These numbers don't prove that LeBron's a better scorer, or rebounder, or defender, or shooter than Jordan. They just prove that LeBron's been good at these things for a very, very long time. These numbers also show just how versatile LeBron is, possibly his most valuable asset. So instead of looking at career totals, let's look at career averages. Michael averages more points and more steals, and LeBron averages more assists and more rebounds. And as much as it pains me to say this, this is usually where the argument for the GOAT ends for most people. Throw in a required comment about their finals records, and you pretty much have a condensed version of most GOAT debates. But there is so much more to unpack here.
Oh no, I can't watch anymore.
So y'all know how much I like advanced stats. They don't tell the full story, but if you know which ones to look for, you can discover some nuances in a player's game that
pies in basketball?
Just watching them play. Player efficiency rating, win shares per 48, offensive box plus minus, defensive box plus minus, value over replacement.
PER used to be everybody's favorite stat.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, when PER was a new kid on the street, oh my god, jeez. 2017, PER was controlling the game. At some point, true shooting came in there. At some point, win shares per 48 came in there. But the OG advanced stat was PER, chat.
If you know, you know. I'm not even going to drag you no further. If you're a new fan, you don't know. PER is the real OG.
Player efficiency rating. Sounds so good.
Shout out to Max Kellerman, man.
Maxwell was on that stats dick, bro. It was mad funny.
6 advanced stats give us efficiency, production, value, impact, and pretty much everything in between. And in these 6 advanced statistics, Michael Jordan exceeds LeBron in 5 of them. He's more efficient overall. He contributes to more wins. He contributes to more points. He's better on defense, and he is generally more valuable on the court than LeBron is. The only advanced stat where LeBron tops Jordan is true shooting percentage.
That's crazy. I would think LeBron would dominate.
Yeah, I'm actually learning something here. That's tough.
It's actually uncanny just how close LeBron is to MJ across the board.
Yeah, thank God he pointed that out.
0.5 back, 0.02 back.
That's what I always hated about the checklist argument. You can look at this and be like, oh shit, MJ wins in what, 5 out of 6 of these? But let's look at every single row, essentially. PER, 0.5 difference. Win shares per 48, 0.02 difference. Offensive box plus minus, 0.1. Defensive box plus minus, 0.2. VORP is what, 0.2 something?
25?
True shooting percentage, even that. Like, the only thing LeBron has an edge on compared to MJ. MJ's close as well. The whole checklist shit is weak. Weak as fuck.
Man, this is why my first impression was Nick Wright. And when he was going on your boy Tatum, he was like, something like Levine averages more points, barely shoots better than Siakam. I was like, fuck it. Let me go ahead and really see, because that's true. What the fuck? Bruh. Tied stats in reference. Like, you gotta look up the extra decimal. 0.1, 0.1, 0.2. I'm like, yo, really?
Yeah.
Really? All right, bro.
Just a fraction behind Jordan in pretty much everything. But these numbers aren't even addressing who's greater. The GOAT debate isn't necessarily about who is the better player. It's about who is the greatest player. I consider Wilt Chamberlain to have been a better basketball player than Bill Russell, but Bill Russell was greater than Wilt. Wilt achieved his greatness through his numbers, whereas Russell achieved his greatness by contributing to an unrelenting style of winning basketball. So let's take a look at the accomplishments of both Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, there are plenty of other awards a player can earn in the NBA, but these are the ones that really stand out on a player's resume. Championships, Finals MVPs, regular season MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year, All NBA selections, and All Defensive Team selections. And amongst these 6 categories, Jordan beats LeBron in 5 of them. And Michael accomplished all of this in just 15 seasons to LeBron's full 18 seasons. The only category where LeBron outperformed Michael is in all NBA selections. And most will argue that, again, this is an accomplishment of longevity more than anything else, which, at this point, seems to be the overall theme in the GOAT debate.
That's... Even this is like the all defense. He didn't really take into account the competition within their positions. The championships. I mean, I understand this point, but at the end of the day, that is a team accolade. Even the MVPs, narrative driven. But when we talk about the GOAT debate, I'm thinking of the casual perspective too. Like, what would it take for the casual to think that you're the greatest of all time? So I guess in that regard, awards and accomplishments have to be in the conversation. But realistically speaking, if we're just talking about who's the greatest player of all time, it truly shouldn't have the greatest impact. It should just be like, how have you affected winning throughout your whole career? But both of these guys clearly have an argument on both sides. So
wholeheartedly agree. Outside of championships, I'm pretty fucking linear. You ain't got no rings. That's tough. Then again, I'm a diehard believer that people should be fans of teams more than players. So maybe that's just my toxic mindset there. But when it comes to like finals MVPs, hell, even defensive player of the year, all of that is so narrative driven. It's not even funny. It's why even to this day, you'll see on my channel on Twitter, I think anybody that thinks a guy like D-Book, Ja, or Luka during this season was overrated because ESPN or Undisputed did a bit about them winning MVP, I think that's pretty fucking stupid. Because it's like, bro, it's a narrative award, bro. They are just talking about shit. Just talk about shit. They don't think that any of those 3 names I just mentioned are better than the Giannis's, the Joel Embiid's, the Jokic's. Like, I just think this shit is just a little overblown.
Eventually, the sheer volume of LeBron's career numbers and achievements may become so overwhelming that we'll have no choice but to concede that he is, in fact, the greatest player of all time. Which brings us to a real dilemma in this age-old debate. The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. A great quote by the ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu regarding the idea of excellence and the sustainability of it. Almost as if you can have longevity or be exceptional, but you can't have both. Michael Jordan was excellent for 13 seasons in the NBA. His flame was violently bright and had burned for quite some time. But what if there was a flame that burned about 95% as bright and lasted much longer?
Stupid.
At a certain point, the radiance of even the brightest flame is outclassed by the flame that just won't quit.
That's a great point.
His light shines about 95% as bright as Michael Jordan's did, and it's lasting a whole lot longer. When does the longevity of LeBron's brilliance simply outmatch the slightly greater?
Hold on.
Yo, see, these folks want this video to get disliked so bad they can't see it. They can't see it, bro. They can't see it.
Am I bugging?
It's lasting a whole lot longer. When does the longevity of LeBron's
Little bit.
So the real question here is, how much longer will LeBron have to be excellent before the majority agrees that he is greater than Michael was? Here's a chart of LeBron's total points, assists, and rebound averages throughout each season of his career. Each point on the graph represents the total average of points, assists, and rebounds for every season of his career. So, for example, this season LeBron is putting up 8, 6, and 30 a game, so his total for the season is 44. Now, in the NBA, anything above a total of 40 is exceptional. LeBron's total production has exceeded 40 in 17 different seasons. Now here's Michael's total average points, assists, and rebounds for every season of his career.
Very tough.
This is by far the greatest argument in favor of LeBron in the GOAT debate. But some fans will argue that there were other players that were still really good this late in their career. You mean like Kareem? Or Kobe?
Nope.
Or Karl Malone?
Yeah,
they weren't even close.
Anybody doing
LeBron's
that?
already the only player to be a part of the 30K, 10K, 10K club. Aside from a freak injury, he'll undoubtedly break Kareem's scoring record. He'll probably play the most seasons in an NBA career. He already has the record for most All-NBA selections, and he's still adding to what is probably the longest career highlight reel with moments like this. If LeBron is still doing this in a couple years, while still putting up All-NBA numbers, I really think it's going to be difficult to say that he's not the greatest player ever.
All right, bro. Honestly, For some full transparency,
You'd be disappointed.
I've been on the MJ's GOAT train, honestly, ever since like I started YouTube. And I was always of the belief of like, okay, LeBron's at 2, and it's not like a crazy gap. But I truly do agree with Jimmy. At some point, bro, this longevity is, because it's not like he doesn't have the accomplishments. He has the rings, Finals MVPs, All NBA selections, you know, all of that. But at some point, bro, when you've been a 28, 8-8 guy for 20 straight fucking years, hey, I don't know. I've gotten to a point at least where I'm like, if you think LeBron's the GOAT, first of all, I don't have the energy to fight you, and second of all, I see it. Like, if that is your argument, I see it.
I've been understood that shit, bro. I had a vid a brick ago where I was talking about, hey man, LeBron obviously if he gets one more ring, bro, obviously then it'd be kind of crazy. Imagine all the nonsense this season if he were to fluke the fuck out of it, beat the Suns first round, but then go on to win a chip. That's another crazy S tier ring, but that's outside the point. When it comes to longevity, man, I'm glad Jimmy showcased it. It's not close between anybody. Like LeBron just solos, bro. It's weird. It's a weirdly good, bro. So at some point, for a lot of you guys that are into GOAT means peak, I am one of those as well. So maybe I won't be moved, but man, that longevity different, bro. I'm not mad at nobody that says LeBron's the GOAT right now, let alone when he's the leading scorer, a top 10 passer, and probably gonna get like, where is he in rebounds? Probably gonna be like 40-ish somewhere.
I don't know. His numbers are gonna be
way higher than 40. Like he gonna be crazy, bro.
If we take it to another sphere, if we talk about music, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say like I could name a handful of rappers that's had higher peaks than Jay-Z. But if you ask a lot of people, would say Jay-Z's the GOAT, and a big reason of that is the fact that he's been going crazy since what, like 97 till 2017?
Before your favorite rapper was born.
When M was peaking in the early 2000s, crazy. Wayne, crazy. Drake, that's another argument for him. There comes to a point where like you have been producing at such a high level for such a long time where like, okay, your peak isn't as good as this guy, but overall, you got it, bro. Can't be mad at you.
That shit crazy, bro. I'm gonna tell you, that shit is dead crazy, bro. They was running the game, nigga. Jay been in this bitch. Never lost. LeVar Ball.
You know what? I'm just gonna say it. While LeBron's legacy is growing as he plays more seasons, Michael's legacy would have been slightly diminished if he played more seasons. Of course, this isn't a matter of fact, but all the evidence points towards this assumption. Michael Jordan retiring after playing just 13 NBA seasons in 1998 was the best thing he could have ever done for his legacy. The Bulls were not going to win another championship, and the backbone of the dynasty he had built had all but vanished by the beginning of the 1999 season. If he had played through that
going out on that 3-0,
like from 1999 to 2001, he would have either stayed with the Bulls and put up huge numbers on a losing team, or signed with a different team and chased rings. Both options being far less illustrious than him going out on top with the team that drafted him. Michael's career was the perfect storm. He was drafted by a franchise that was ready and willing to build around him. He was on a roster that suited his skill sets extremely well, and he and the Bulls peaked right as the dominant teams from the 80s and early 90s like the Lakers, Celtics, and Pistons began to fade away. You could not have written a better career if you tried. Yeah. On the other hand, despite his success, LeBron really got the short end of the deal many times throughout his career. He spent his first 7 seasons in the NBA playing for a team that could not have cared less about building a coherent team around him. He spent 4 straight finals going toe-to-toe with the most dominant dynasty in modern NBA history outside of Jordan's Bulls. While Michael was surrounded by players who were all willing to buy into their system, LeBron has spent many years carrying the load of bad rosters and seemingly incompetent teammates. Part of which is his own fault for trying to play GM and putting together piss-poor rosters. And I bring up these small nuances because the GOAT debate is very nuanced. As much as people want to act like the whole 6-0 in the finals is the end-all be-all to the discussion, it's just not. If rings were all that mattered, then Bill Russell would be the GOAT. Oh, but he played a long time ago, that doesn't count. Okay, well then Robert Horry is the GOAT because he has 7 rings to Jordan's 6.
That's playing stupid. I hate when people do that. I ain't gonna cap. I hate when people do that.
Rings? Or is it about being the best player on the court? Or a mixture of both? Is a player's performance, despite how masterful it was, all in vain if his team loses? The line becomes less and less clear the deeper you dig. No single metric can be used to determine this debate. And the unpacking of every small minute detail is a necessary burden. But unfortunately, it's a burden that most fans won't bother to take on.
Not so.
7 chapters.
At the moment, I personally believe Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. I also think he's the best basketball player of all time. But, unlike some fans, I don't think the door has closed on LeBron. I think that if LeBron can continue to dominate the league for a few more seasons and continue to shatter our previous notions of what we thought was possible in a single NBA career, I think that he has a chance to retire as the greatest player of all time. But of course, only time will tell. And fortunately for LeBron, time seems to perpetually be on his side.
I think that's where we disagree, to be honest. I don't think I need to wait. Like, him reaching the 40K mark does not mean shit to me. Like, he's already gotten to a point where it's year 19, age 38 or whatever, and he's putting up these insane numbers. That's enough for me to give you the longevity argument for LeBron over MJ. I don't need to wait for him to have the most seasons played in NBA history, to me. But also, his point about Jordan's legacy, the one thing you can never knock, and I think this is the argument for MJ's GOAT debate for a majority of people, is the fact that it's like the closest thing to a flawless career. Let's not twist my words. I didn't say it's fully flawless, but the closest thing to a flawless career, that's Jordan's. And this is it's such a hard career to beat.
You got people talking about first round exits when it comes to MJ, man. That's how crazy his shit. That's how crazy his shit is, bro. That's unheard of. Motherfuckers don't talk about Curry lost in the second round. Like, motherfuckers don't do that. Nah, man. I 100% agree with you. I'm not just trying to agree with Benjamin all day, but I promise. But nah, man. The longevity thing's already a blot, bro. It's just not close. So I don't understand why it needs to be even further of a gap. I'm not going against Jimmy and what he said either, because Jimmy spitting facts too, but it's like, I ain't gotta wait. If I thought Braun was the GOAT already, I'd be saying it, bro. It's already GG's. What, you gotta wait for him to truly hit that 40K, truly hit that 22 years? No, it's done. He's washed Kareem in longevity. I want y'all to understand, he's washed Kareem in longevity. It's not close. If you value longevity to a certain degree, you'll have LeBron as your GOAT. If you're like me and you value who is the best player, who is the greatest player by what they were in their prime, you clearly won't ever change your opinion, because LeBron doesn't have a fucking time machine. The only way that will change is if LeBron were to be fucking 40, dominating the league, like winning championships, because at that point, bro had 3 primes. What the? and by the way, again, I don't care. We ended on this note. Bron wins again, like consistently starts winning again at age 40. Shut up. Hey, just get over it. You should go. Accept it.
Shout out to Jimmy for the great video. That was actually a fantastic video. W editing. You know
fantastic video.
W stats, W graphs, W everything. Shout out to Jimmy.
Who's your editor?
Who's your editor?
Help.
If it's you, I need your help. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm gonna say, I'll pay.
But we'll catch you on the next one, man. Peace out.